it's going to be the Spammer playing a 10 Numb and Aaron Kraken list. The Spammer has, of course, been on the show before. Let's go ahead and call it B's and Z's. Sounds nice and festive. And then we have Francis, who has been on the show as a commentator. Oh, I don't know what I did. Who's been on the show as a commentator for our store championship, but has not played before. So it's going to be his first time at the table. And I'm going to go check, see if they're ready. We should be about ready to start here. Yo, where are my players at?
I'll be right here, sir. Spammer's ignoring you.
Set your stuff. All right, apparently the Spammer has decided that he's going to sit on the other side of the road.
I actually did a couple of changes to the list.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, it's just on the upgrade card.
Francis is telling me that he blindsided me and has changed.
Just did it. So basically, stealth device on the backstabber, stealth device on wing gun dart, hull upgrade, and everything all that's the same. Power runner's doing stealth device and swarm tactics, and then TIE fighter's doing stealth device and squad leader.
Swarm tactics, squad leader. That's what you changed.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I took out the hull upgrade and put a stealth device.
On which?
The one that had the hull upgrade on it.
As a stealth device.
Swarm.
Copy that. Okay. Yeah. Francis did some stuff to his list without letting me know in advance. So I'm gonna try to get it right. He put swarm tactics on Howl Runner. Correct that there. They still have stealth devices, and then he switched. He did. Here. You chat it up.
All right. How are you guys doing tonight? So, like we were saying, this is the first time we've seen Francis on the table. Spammer is a regular here, and he's got a new favorite list here, the B's and Z's, as Brandon's calling it. I had the misfortune of facing this in a recent tournament, and it does really, really, really brutal things. Long story short, so Kraken and 10 Numb are both at PS10, which means they're firing before most of anything. Kraken's going to normally shoot first, maybe strip a shield or something off, but the big deal is that he gives an extra action to 10 Numb so that between his normal action and the action granted by Kraken, he can take a focus and a target lock, or a barrel roll and a focus, whatever makes the most sense for the situation at hand. Combining that with the advanced sensors on 10 Numb, it means that he can get a focused and target locked attack even on a turn that he K-turns. Because Kraken doesn't have to... actually, I take that back. He can't quite do both of those because 10 Numb would be stressed at that point. But still, it does give a lot of action economy to 10 Numb. And then 10 Numb just has natural synergy with the Mangler Cannon, because he's able to turn one of those hits into a crit with every attack, and one of those crits can't be canceled. This was not exactly something that I wanted to see when I'm running multiple interceptors, and it just really didn't work out in my favor. Yeah, go Francis.
I haven't seen a list with just TIE fighters in quite a while. and I'm a big fan of it. So, or I guess, I mean, I probably saw a TIE Swarm recently, but I used to play the Sinister Six, just all 6 named TIE fighters, and I loved to used to play that list. But once Wave 4 came out, it became kind of bad.
Yeah, so I mean, this is an interesting throwback in that, we're seeing pure TIE fighters. We've got a couple of new things in here. We've got the calculation upgrade on Mauler Mythol, so it's not, pure Wave 1 here. But, well, I guess Wave 2 for Stealth Device? I don't know. I wasn't playing that.
Wave 2 is Stealth Device.
Okay, so...
Wave 2. It was in the Fire Spray.
Right. So, I mean, we've got some minor modifications to it, but for the most part, it's a TIE Fighter Swarm. It's not full-on Swarm because he's got some of the named pilots instead of Academy pilots, but I don't know. I haven't seen TIE Fighter Swarms do extremely well recently because
they need to have something else. They need to have a turret, or they need to have a Dodger. And accompanying a small group of TIE fighters.
Right, and it's too easy to pop Howlrunner comparatively with a lot of the lists that you're seeing in the current meta, that once Howlrunner goes down, the whole squad kind of falls apart. 2 attack dice really isn't enough against a lot of things that you're seeing in competitive play right now. You help that out with Howlrunner's reroll, but you're missing some punch. Even the difference between 2 attack dice and 3 attack dice with the interceptors goes a long way. But a lot of people are used to the big punch that you're going to get out of, say, a Phantom or a Decimator with Expose. 2 attack dice at a time. Most players are kind of laughing at that a little bit at this point. So, that being said, once again, go Francis. Kind of pulling for him here, hoping it all works out in his favor. Looks like we're getting set up for the first turn here.
Dials are going down. You're good to start whenever you're ready. Oh, we already have started. Yeah.
All right, so the players now know that they are officially on the clock here.
As soon as I see the first template go down, I will start the play clock. But I started back. I began playing the game back in Wave 3, and seeing a list with 5 TIE fighters in it makes me happy as a primarily Empire player. We'll see how it goes. It's as the general was saying, this wedge from this list from the spammer is going to do a lot of damage really fast.
Yeah, I mean the stealth device is coming off of anything that 10 Num shoots at the first shot, just because you can't stop that crit. The stealth device just gives you 1 extra die on that first roll to hopefully avoid the rest of the damage at least. The way to kill this list, on the other hand, is if you can still have a functional list when 10 Num goes down. At that point, you're facing 2 Zs and a B. It's not that scary.
I played a list on here that it's very similar to a list I played against you before, but it has Wedge and Biggs and 2 Zs, and I played it on the stream. And I did very well the game that I played on the show, but in the past, it's like if Wedge or Kean dies, the list falls apart. Like, I need both of them to lay damage out, or I have 2 Z95s with weak attacks. Even one of them by themselves can do damage, but it's all right, The rebels are just kind of inching forward.
So it's interesting to me that this is a slight change in tactics of what I've seen Spammer do before with his deployment and first moves. previously he's been splitting up his forces and having his generic pilots out to one side and his named pilots out to the other, so that
He's just starting them all together.
yeah,
He wants to joust.
he wants to joust, and he wants the generics to be soaking fire for his elite ships. Whereas previously what he's done is he's held the generics off to the side, kind of hoping that they would go unnoticed and unharmed while players were chasing the elite ships, and they could just roll in and not have to worry about taking defensive actions and just lay into the ship of their choice from the flank.
Looks like the TIE fighters are going to bank in. Winged Gundark takes a barrel roll so he can avoid that asteroid next turn. We're going to see the rest of the TIE fighters move before either of those two rebel ships in the back move, because they are both pilot skill 10, obviously, because of veteran instincts. TIE fighters are kind of bunching up. He deployed right behind that asteroid, but I don't think it's going to affect him all that much. He hasn't bumped yet.
He has bumped the only one was Backstabber ran into the Black Squadron pilot, but it looked very intentional. It was more along the lines of he wanted the ship as close as he could get to the Black Squadron pilot.
And then Howlrunner is tucking in the back, trying to stay at range. But obviously buffing those all those other ships except for Winged Gundark.
Right.
Interesting move there, because it's you want Howlrunner to stay away, and even if you can to flank with her as much as you can to still stay at range 1 of your allies. But you kind of want all your with TIE fighters. They're only 2 dice. You want to point them all the same way.
Right. So, I mean, it's not going to matter all that much this turn because there's not going to be any shooting going on, but Winged Gundark is kind of off on his own over there just because he had to barrel roll to avoid the asteroid.
I almost think Winged Gundark and Backstabber should be switched.
Very much so. If this was a premeditated setup, then Backstabber should definitely be the one out on the flank. I do think it's interesting that Howlrunner was set up turned away, because in order to avoid that asteroid just below Backstabber, she's going to have to make a tight turn, which means that Black Squadron pilot's going to have a hard time staying inside of the range for Howlrunner to give a buff. So really only Mauler and Backstabber.
They can't move slower than 2.
The only way they can move slower than 2 is to take a 1 hard.
Exactly. So all the 3 ships that are facing forward are going to move forward pretty fast, and Howlrunner's going to get stuck doing a 1 turn to stay away from that asteroid.
Right. And the last thing you want to do is be barrel rolling Howlrunner into position, because you know she's the target. You know that the enemy has to be shooting at Howlrunner first, just because that has so much of the meat of this list. So you want to be able to take defensive actions with Howlrunner. I hate to criticize an opening set of moves so heavily,
he
but
might have a plan and we don't see it.
And I hope he does, because go Empire.
Because everybody else is a dirty terrorist. Unless we pay them to be a dirty terrorist, then it's okay.
I still want rules to hire scum and villainy in normal lists.
I feel like it's going to be that way with the next wave of Armada. Do you agree or disagree?
I disagree because of the coloring of the ships.
Are they different? I don't even know. They
are split down the middle in different colors, matching the faction colors for the existing fighters.
I read a rumor that that every one of them was a freelancer and either faction could hire each one.
Now, I believe Imperial Assault does some of that, but I'm not aware of it for Armada. All right, so Spalmer is
inching forward
here.
And that heavy laser cannon Blue Squadron pilot.
And, this is not a bad plan here, because the last thing he wants to do is let that TIE Fighter swarm get right up on him and get all the bonus dice, whereas he's still hitting fairly hard from range. And the longer that he waits for the full-on engagement, the worse the formation will be for the TIE fighters if there are more collisions or if Howl Runner's out of position.
Black Squad takes a 3 straight.
So that's interesting. I'm not sure exactly
He's getting out of his
what
own
his. Yeah, I guess so. Which
or
makes
maybe
me
throwing him out there as a bait target. In that Rebel list I was telling you before, the reason those Z95s exist is so I can shove them up really fast, and then the enemy focuses on them. Maybe he's using a similar tactic here. Or pretty fast too. He wanted to end up at range 1 so we could trigger that crit ability. Backstabber's turning away. It's looking like he might split up more than we were thinking.
That is a completely different way to approach the TIE Swarm, but it works for some players where you don't really care if Howl Runner's in range or not. If she does give you the bonus, then it's just an added bonus.
Mythol eats an asteroid. That's bad for TIE fighters. Looks like an eyeball. I don't think he took damage.
So this almost looks like Francis is trying to get board coverage, where he's got every TIE fighter pointing in a different direction, including Howl Runner pointing right at the center of an asteroid.
Turn that right onto a rock. Yeah, dude.
So I believe the technical term for what we're seeing here may be called rust. Just because I know I was pretty rough in the previous match flying big base ships, it just looks like maybe Francis is.
If he was playing a list of Arc Dodgers, then the spreading, not necessarily a bad idea. He's playing against the jousting list, and he's playing a jousting list. So both of these lists' biggest strength is to just look at look at your enemy and fly straight towards it. And that's exactly what Spommer's doing, drifting forward nice and slow.
So, out of that list of last-minute squad modifications that Francis made, was the inclusion of squad leader on the Black Squadron pilot one of those?
I did. I checked it out, yeah.
Okay, because I'm just looking at this, and it just suddenly occurred to me that he can't use that.
It only works on a lower pilot skill ship. I didn't even mention that to him.
Right.
Wow. Okay.
It's a legal choice, but it doesn't help him in any shape, form, or fashion. All right, so we're in the firing.
Dragon taking a shot at, well, it looks like Ween Gundark. He's going to focus to evade everything, and he's going to allow Ten Numb to take a target lock on Ween Gundark.
So that's a interesting play because you've got two options there. The first option is Kraken can shoot first just like that and give that target lock to Ten Numb. The other option is Ten Numb can fire first, get that automatic crit through, and that's going to strip the stealth device and make it more likely that Kraken will actually do damage.
Spammer spins the focus, making it 2 hits and a crit. Hard to see. I know one of the crits goes through. Or I know at least the crit goes through.
So it looks like he's taking 2.
I believe so. And I'm gonna check that and find out what that crit is. Yep, it's gonna be 2 damage on Winged Gundark.
Oh, that's lovely.
A weapon malfunction, reducing his primary weapon on the TIE Fighter to 1 attack die.
So he's now flying a TIE Hawk.
Yes, he is flying a TIE Hawk. That's really unfortunate.
And that's really, that might be the only ship that gets to shoot this turn too.
The only.
Well, no, Black Squadron.
Black Squadron is going to be in range of Blue Squad.
Yeah, so okay, he will get 2 ships able to shoot, but still, this is a ugly position.
Yeah, I'm really not a fan of how Francis lined up his TIE fighters here. We'll see how it goes. It's going to be, looks like range 2 on the Bandit. Is what he measured anyway. they're discussing something.
I believe that the rebel insurgent was actually offering some helpful advice and saying that 10 Num was a better target.
Could very well be the case. One die, not in range of Howl Runner, can't re-roll it. And it's looking like he can. Black Squadron can see the Blue Squadron B-wing, so there we're going to see some dice there. He will get a modification from Howl Runner. Oh, wait, what happened? He spent a focus and nothing happened. He's rolling his attack. Okay, let's.
Oh, he was remembering to put the focus token on. I think he might have skipped that during the action phase.
And that is looks like 2 hits and
one evade, one shield off of Blue Squadron.
Off of Blue Squadron. That's what it looks like.
All right, so this is Bandit Squadron, probably firing at the Gundark.
Looks like 2 hits and not a lot of evades.
Yeah, that's a dead TIE fighter.
And a Winged Gundark is out of this one. And that's sad because Winged Gundark doesn't start in many either.
Truthfully, I had to go and do just a little bit of research to make sure I understood what he did.
To a crit. That's right?
Yes, it is.
And we're going to have a heavy laser cannon shot from Blue Squadron onto Mauler Mythel. He's going to get 4 dice to defend because of a stealth device. After a 4-die attack, that will yield a... Ugh, that's a bunch of hits. Focus for 4 hits. I think
so
Mauler Mythel popped outright.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah, he just took 3. So much for that TIE fighter. This is no longer a true swarm. This is a mini swarm now.
This is a limpy swarm. Okay, I'm going to add up the points here. 15, 18. 18 plus 17 is 35. 36, 39, which is, will leave 61. How my viewers doing?
Oh, that's a good call from the viewers that there's a whole upgrade on Mauler Mythel. We just assumed 3 damage and dead ship. So Mauler's still in it and has 1 hit point left.
Hey, Turd Ferguson, do I know you? You're there's a little bit of a delay, but Turd Ferguson, when you hear this, tell me if your name is Matt. Because I'm curious. I don't know why then again, I don't know why that particular Matt will be watching this. So it could just be a reference to Turfineer. Oh, and that means Mauler Mythel is still in the game, so that's going to be this plus 21 points, so 82 points.
So
it looks like the Rebels are going to bank in to pursue that tiny formation of TIE fighters.
For the benefit of the viewers at home, we weren't intentionally, ignoring what was going on the table, but well, we're not exactly rich. We need more screens here. We can't really see everything that's going on and modify the stats on the screen at the same time.
Yeah.
So please forgive us a little bit for that.
I say it all the time. Please forgive me if I forget to mention something. If you see something that I do not, please point it out in the chat for me, and I'd be happy to fix it.
All right, so Black Squadron bumps Blue Squadron. I believe we officially call that a bruise.
Black and blue. I get it. That was a good one, General.
Sorry.
Backstabber. Backstabber takes a 3-turn.
And looks like he took a token of some sort. I don't know if he took a focus or an evade. I would almost say an evade in that situation, just because it doesn't look like you're necessarily going to get a shot.
Evade, yeah. If I look super close, I can see.
Well, Mauler Mythel is coming for some revenge.
Okay, then Turd Ferguson. I apologize. I was just curious. I know a guy who uses that as uses a variant of that of Turd Ferguson as his Xbox Live handle. So I was just curious if we were the same guy.
I think Turd Ferguson is kind of like Slim Shady. There's more than one.
No, of course there's more than one. I was just curious.
So Howlrunner comes in like she's actually going to do something here. And
what she's going to do is probably get blown away by Tendum and Aaron Kraken.
Yeah, that's.
And if she doesn't, she's definitely going to get blown away by that heavy laser cannon on the blue squad.
Well,
I mean, actually, no, the blue squad's at range 1.
Yeah, I was about to say it's not going to be HLC, but the end effect is pretty much the same.
Yeah. Coultermans, we were Francis had all the named pilots were the same in his list, but he made some last-minute changes, and I didn't realize. I would have pointed that out to him. I didn't realize it at the time because my show was like my list was already prepared. Then I had to change it at the last minute. We're gonna go Tendum on Black Squadron. Looks like he evaded everything, but 1 crit is uncancelable, so it's going to be 1 crit on the Black Squadron pilot.
That's an interesting choice there. I don't know if he just didn't actually have arc on Howlrunner or what the deal was, but I don't see Black Squadron as being a high priority target here.
He certainly has arc on Howlrunner. Now it looks like Aaron Kraken on Black Squadron pilot at range 2.
So he had a counterattack there.
Yeah. Looks like he evaded that shot. I'm going to find out what that crit was.
You know, I really don't know why Tendum would have shot at that Black Squadron pilot, other than just.
It was another weapon. The good thing about having 2 is you can't get another one. Well, he just tried to show me on the screen, but he held it up a little too high.
Yeah, he missed.
And then Aaron Kraken passes a free action to the Blue Squadron pilot, who's going to roll away from a shot from... All right, Zach is going to barrel roll down, I guess, and get a range 1 shot on the Black Squad in a moment.
So what that does, it's an interesting tactic of what he's doing with Kraken, is he's allowing his B-Wings to barrel roll away from contact so that they can still shoot at what they were bumping before.
That's really smart.
And painful. Because you sit there and you're like, okay, I'm safe. And all of a sudden, oh, that B-Wing that couldn't shoot me can now shoot me. Because it's inevitably at range 1 when it happens, because he's not moving far with that barrel roll.
Okay, we have another attack from Francis. I'm going to guess it was range 1. Yeah, it was range 1 from Black Squadron against Blue Squadron, but his primary weapon has been reduced, so he only got one die there. And then Blue Squad roll a blank. Whoa. The Blue Squadron should actually say 4 shields.
A little bit of technical difficulties on our display here.
I used the scroll bar, and somehow apparently that changes the font, so I need to go in here and find out what the actual font should be. Two damage, and that's gonna. Blue Squadron should actually be at 1 shield now. I only know that because I heard them talking very loudly through the door.
Again, it's pretty hard for us to keep track of the game and
Oh, yeah,
update the stats on the game at the same time.
All we can do is our best. Reroll from Howlrunner. 2 hits.
So,
Wait, I don't really know what happened.
yeah, I'm thinking we've got some hull damage on the Blue Squadron pilot, but I'm not entirely sure. Maybe those are all eyeballs instead.
He doesn't have any shield left. It's going to be 3 hits from the Blue Squadron onto Black Squadron pilot. Hey, players, if any of you could fill us in on what happened there, because I didn't realize apparently the attack order as well as I could have. Cancels 2 damage on against Black Squadron pilot, but I think that is probably enough to destroy him anyway. He has a structural damage. I'm really confused. Oh yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, he should be out.
Right, but at least this time we waited
Black
until the
Squadron out of the game.
and we waited till the ship was actually off the table before we declared him dead.
Well, he put him back. Mauler Mithley took him off and put him back because he had a hull upgrade.
Oh, okay. I thought we just straight up missed that one. Now I feel better about it.
Bandit Squadron shooting at Howlrunner, spins a focus, and evaded all day long.
Yeah, I still find it interesting that he hasn't really focused any heavy fire on Howlrunner yet. He's been picking off all the other ones and just being like, it's Howlrunner. I don't need to kill that.
When Howlrunner's not a threat when she's not buffing anything. Well.
Point taken. So, isn't it usually supposed to be the swarm that outnumbers the other guys?
Generally. 5 versus 4. But Francis really needed to clear one of those B-wings in the first turn. And he deployed right behind that asteroid, and that bunched him up. So he kind of had to split up more than he probably wanted to. Marty Marr, I see you talking about I guess it's been way back now, but you were talking about a list with a bunch of A-wings with proton rockets. At our store championship, we had a featured match of a player that ran 5 naked A-wings prototype pilots with proton rockets. He had a pretty decent record. I think he went 3-2 over the day.
I'm not going to take full credit for that list, but my idea.
And the general was saying that it was his idea. I also feel like, didn't he borrow 3 of the A-wings from you?
Yes, they were also my A-wings. But I wouldn't have had the guts to fly it, I'll be completely honest. He did way better than I really expected.
And he won in the stream match.
I think he was originally looking at whether or not he could fit in just 6 of them naked. I was like, no, proton rockets, you got to do it.
Interesting move there. K-turn from the Blue Squad. I guess he expects Backstabber to run into him.
Well, it's that, and it means that there's no way that the Blue Squadron can get fired on this turn.
Right.
And the Blue Squadron is heavily damaged, so if he gets a shot, he gets a shot. If not, no big deal. But he's saving the points.
That's a big thing I have to remind myself, especially in a competitive setting. I got to play for points. I don't always. Sometimes it's not always good to take the best shot. You got to play for points.
Oh, but look at this! Backstabber just K-turns right over the or top of him.
Unfortunately, he ended up inside the B-wing's arc, so the B-wing's going to get a shot, and Backstabber doesn't get 4 dice. He only gets 3. But
well, it depends on whether or not the Blue Squadron can get cleared before he gets a chance to fire.
That's a good point, too.
So Howl Runner K turns over as well. So Backstabber's probably going to be able to get a modification there, but the painful thing is I kind of see a K turn coming from 10 Numb as well here.
I'm thinking that too.
And that means
runs into the back of Aaron Kraken.
So
the spammer is deciding which
advanced sensors for a focus,
and then a 2K.
Imagine that. Kind of curious to see what Kraken's going to end up doing though, because he might end up bumping that Bandit Squadron pilot because the Bandit had already bumped.
Marty Marr, he actually he kept those A-wings in pretty tight formation. He played against a 2 large ship Empire list. He basically pointed 5 proton rockets at a fire spray shot once, and then was destroyed. And then it took him 3 turns to clear a decimator with those little 2-die plinkaways. But we have a YouTube video of that. I'll see if I can get you a link, but I don't want to look away from the game for too long.
So Kraken does end up bumping, so the Z's are out of the fight for the turn, but the B's are what are really going to be doing damage anyway.
I think he just indicated he's taking the Hail Mary with Mangler Cannon and Maul Mythal.
Wow, he's just...
He might just be being nice.
It could be. Wasn't that nice? Like you were saying, if there's nothing left to buff, then Howl Runner's kind of toothless on her own.
Okay, what do we got left? Howl Runner 23, Backstabber 19, 23, and 19 is 42. Yeah, I know you can hear me doing math. Don't make fun of me. Looks like Howl Runner at 10 Numb spends a focus to negate 1, which should leave him, I believe, at 1 hull remaining. Or unless... No, okay.
No, 10 Numb's still healthy.
Oh, you're totally right, yeah. And then that was 3 hits against the Blue Squadron pilot with 2 crits.
Way too high up.
They have no idea.
But he's gone. I'm assuming at least one of those was a direct hit. Maybe both.
Every single card you put up there, like the tips of your fingers and the bottom of the card are right at the top of the screen. Got it. So this is what I got. The blue's out though, right? Blue's out. All right, that is the end of Blue Squadron with heavy laser cannon.
And what were the crits?
1 was a direct hit. The other escapes me. And that's 29 points off, which makes this 71.
So, respectable. The ship came off the board.
And that's not even a cheap ship either. I should speak up a little bit, I suppose. Dials are going down for next turn here. There are 5 ships across 2 factions, and every single one of them is stressed.
So, looking at this, had the target priority been a little different, had it been 10 Numb that died there, this would actually be a winnable situation for the Imperials. 10 Numb with the high pilot skill and with the Mangler cannon, advanced sensors, and just the fact that 10 Numb's crits can't be canceled.
Cha-ching! Lots of points.
Yeah, it's
10 Numb is carrying around a lot of points.
Yeah, it's lots of points, but also it's really the only heavy damage dealer left in the list. I would rather see the heavy laser cannon left though, and get 10 Numb out of there just because there's guaranteed damage there.
Right.
And
10 Numb is gonna deals at least 1 crit every attack.
I mean, I guess it's technically possible that you could roll all blanks,
It's
but
hard to see, but I think Backstabber barely has the Bandit in arc, but the Bandit definitely does not have Backstabber. If he does, it's just the very bottom corner of the screen there. Assuming Aaron Kraken does something similar, Backstabber will get shot in the side from Aaron Kraken.
so Howlrunner's going to fly straight through. Pretty safe situation to be in.
Yeah, Kraken should bump right into her. That's what I would guess.
Right. Which means that Kraken's going to get a shot on Backstabber now, which would grant a action to the Bandit Squadron pilot, but I don't know exactly what you would want to do with that action.
Aaron Kraken took a 1 straight and runs into the back of Howlrunner. Ten Numb is going to do a 2 straight and just get himself out of the fight for a moment. I think we could see that Bandit off the table before this turns over.
It's possible.
Backstabber's going to roll 4 dice. He took an evade token just because he's going to be shot in the back by Aaron Kraken, but he is going to roll 4 dice against the Bandit's 2.
But it's 3 because Kraken is at range 1. Oh, you're talking about the offense. Never mind.
Oh yeah, but that was from Kraken at 3 dice, and it was only 1 hit. He spends an evade token to negate it.
He did neglect to roll his extra die for the stealth device, though, unless we missed Backstabber taking damage at some point.
I don't believe so. He might have a holograde. I don't even know. He didn't move more than I noticed.
So, in other words, the lists are close. They may not be right, but they're close.
Yeah, the lists are very close to the correct thing. They changed the list on us in like about 30 seconds before, or we found out about it about 30 seconds before the game actually started. That was 1 hit against the Bandit Squadron and 1 evade. And he just checked arc from Backstabber to see if he was in. I think they decided he was not.
That's a shame.
Files. That is a shame.
I mean, the Bandit Squadron pilot's a little low on the totem pole as far as target priority is here, but
damage is damage.
Yeah.
If it's all you got, take it.
Exactly. Unfortunately, he just didn't have it.
Now we're going to see the K-turn dance. I really hope Howlrunner doesn't take a 4K. She's going to kiss that rock with her butt.
I believe that would be officially called an asteroid.
An asteroid. Yeah. You're all over it tonight, James.
Sorry. So that's an interesting move with the Bandit Squadron pilot. Instead of K-turning, yeah, he's trying to block the K-turn for Backstabber and keep Backstabber pointed in the wrong direction. So I almost wonder if you might see Aaron Kraken just kind of wander forward a little bit just to take another clean shot on Backstabber.
Backstabber just took a 2 straight.
Okay, so move and counter move, but the end effect is still the same other than the fact that Backstabber isn't stressed. Still no actions and still not pointed at anything.
Howlrunner, take right for that asteroid. I'd expect a barrel roll here.
Well, now it's a front steroid.
Yeah. Oh, he took a focus. Okay. All right, took an evade. Might think it's better to...
Desperate times, I guess.
Yeah, cancel a damage, then... If he barreled, he would have been out of arc. He's probably out of arc anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. This just kind of looks like one of those situations where there's not a lot that the Imperials can do to improve this situation or pull this one out. So we're just kind of almost going through the motions. I mean, anything can happen. There's still dice involved.
And we don't call time unless they go for an absurdly long time that is longer than any of our games has run so far. So there could be a drastic turnaround for the Imperials.
So
one hit from Aaron Kraken onto Backstabber. And evaded. Here.
all right, so let's see what we've got going on this turn. I really don't know if you try to hard turn Howlrunner and just miss that rock, or if you just commit to going over it. Bandit Squadron is going to K-turn and actually get into the fight here.
I would one turn up. Actually, I might even one turn down. Turd Ferguson, I'm going to find that out right now. Backstabber either has a stealth device or a hull upgrade, but they changed their lists on us right at the end, or Francis changed his list on us right at the end, so I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to find out right now.
But if Backstabber does have a stealth device, he hasn't been rolling the die for it. I do see one still face up on the field, but I think that may be on Howlrunner. Okay, so it has been confirmed that...
In fact, a stealth device, and he's been forgetting to roll it sometimes.
Right, so look at that. Howlrunner does K-turn right across the asteroid. We really are getting into desperation mode for any kind of options.
And that's a damage on Howlrunner. Does not strip her stealth device, but it's still not good.
So the unfortunate part about that is Howlrunner doesn't get to take actions this turn. The next turn, you got two options.
Right back on the rock.
You're either going to run straight over the rock, or you're going to do a hard turn. Either way, you've still got either an obstacle collision or a stress, and you're still not taking actions. So Howlrunner's really not doing much, and Backstabber is in the midst of a Z95 sandwich, which...
There is one good thing going for Francis right now.
10 Num isn't there yet?
10 Num's out of range.
For now.
Well, yeah, for now is all you can ask for sometimes.
Well, 10 Num's going to barrel roll and try to get a little closer. Still don't think he's going to be quite in range.
Marty Mar, I'm trying to get the link to that game I was talking about with the A-Wings, but my phone isn't cooperating here. It's a hit crit against Backstabber from Aaron Kraken. I couldn't see how many he rolled. Let's see if he draws any cards. I don't think Backstabber took any damage. So it's going to be Backstabber's going to take a range 1 onto the Bandit Squadron.
Checking to see if Howlrunner's in range for a reroll. It's by a hair one way or the other.
Looks like a hit and a focus for 2.
So
Bandit rolls at least 1 evade, looks like 2.
Yeah, just not getting any better here. So Howlrunner's going to fire on Kraken. Be 2 attack dice versus at least 3 defense dice for Kraken because we're firing through that asteroid.
It might be range 3, but I don't believe so.
Range 2.
2 hits and evaded all day long. Spammer's evades are on fire, and they are just not working for Francis. Here, I don't want them to hear me talk about it.
Yeah, the way these dice are going, it's a wonder that B-Wing isn't still alive.
And that is 3 hits from the Bandit onto Backstabber.
Kind of see that device popping this time now.
Yes.
Yeah, I see some blanks
I
there.
see 2, but also 2 blanks. So I think it's going to be 1 damage and a lost stealth device on Backstabber, leaving him with 2 hull remaining.
Oh, no, we missed something entirely. Those were focus results, not evades. Backstabber just died.
Backstabber is out. Holy crap.
So kind of like you were alluding to earlier, Howlrunner doesn't do much when she's by herself.
Yeah, she doesn't have anything to buff. She's just a TIE fighter.
That's a really weird way to approach a swarm. I don't know that I've ever seen Howlrunner be the last one left.
I have before, but it's usually in a situation where Howlrunner gets accidentally separated early. So again, like, she becomes very non-threatening. Yes, it certainly popped that turn. No doubt about it. Thanks to everyone who's tuned in.
Did they finish already?
No. I'm going to guess we're pretty close to the end of our second featured match here.
Chris is saying he should be dead already, so.
Yeah. Bandit Squad took a 4 straight and bumped into Aaron Kraken. I guess he's probably trying to get out of Howlrunner's inevitable 1 turn.
I don't see how it's all that scary, but...
Yeah, and Howlrunner actually decided to turn away. Here we go, Marty Man. I just posted, Engine 712 just posted the link to that A-Wing game. I would love it if you'd check it out. Maybe leave a comment. 3K from Kraken? Yeah. So we're gonna play the TIE Fighter hunting game now. It's gonna be fun.
I'm giving the over/under on 2 turns for Howlrunner because I really see a bank out of 10 num here.
I do too. One bank will put him into range 3.
And look at that. So Howlrunner does still have a stealth device, but did lose a hit point earlier by colliding with an obstacle. So it's theoretically possible that 10 num could finish it, especially with multiple hit results here. Looks like hit, hit, crit. Crit comes through either way. Spammer was nice enough to remind him of the stealth device. Looks like the hits got cancelled. Crit comes through. Thrust control fire.
Fire. Receive a stress token.
So Howlrunner is now double stressed. And
Wait,
has...
How much damage this... She should have 2 damage on it now. Oh, no, that was the first one.
Well, that was the... Excuse me.
She's at 1 hull?
Yes, because of the asteroid earlier.
Yes. Oh, that would be why I had her down as...
Right. Even though she had the stealth device remaining at that point, she did lose a hit point earlier. So I don't really see any situations where the Z95s are going to end up with shots here, but 10 num is basically guaranteed to be able to get a shot because 10 num can just bank in, and at PS10 can see where Howlrunner went and barrel roll into the shot, and then 10 num's got a target lock. It's almost...
It doesn't look good for the Empire.
It's almost impossible for 10 num not to be able to get a crit with a Mangler cannon, which is a instant game over because Howlrunner cannot stop that crit. The only thing that might happen here to extend the game another turn is if Francis wants to play cheeky and just take a 5 forward.
Yeah, get as far away as possible. We'll see how it goes. He's going balls to the wall. So it's 10 Num has to blank out, or the game's over for the Empire. Unless 10 Num took a 2K.
That is true.
It is a highly unlikely but possible thing. Certainly an interesting game.
Kraken may be the one to do it.
Fight to win.
Oh, no, never mind. Kraken,
He wouldn't have been able to clear that rock if he did a hard turn.
yeah, I was thinking maybe a 3 hard might have cleared it, but it wouldn't have been a,
I've misjudged that many times before. Trying to get around that big rock.
yeah, I don't do 3 turns. I do 2 turns. Interceptors for the win.
Yes, Tabletop General is a big old interceptor player, and he will beat any one of you with those interceptors.
Then again, this list did, kick the living snot out of it because I just could not kill 10 Num fast enough.
It looks like he's range 1. He might decide to go primaries and be nice. I don't know if that's really the nice thing to do. Okay, he is shooting the Mangler Cannon. That's a crit, and the game's over.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do about it.
Okay, guys, I will, as usual, I'll get the players in here in just a moment. We will also likely have a bonus match. If you want to keep watching some X-Wing, it won't have the fancy overlays, and it'll just be me talking while I play. But we had a few viewers stick around through our bonus match last week, so we're probably gonna have one today. Anyway, I'm gonna get Francis in here in about 30 seconds, and after that, there's Tabletop General stepping out. I'm kind of stumbling over my words here. I will have Francis in here in just a minute, followed by the spammer, and then we will, in about 15 minutes from now, we'll throw in a bonus match. I'm hearing Francis is coming in just a minute, so that's fine with me. How's everybody doing? Are you having a good time? Enjoying some X-Wings? How did you, Boredom pwned you, how did you find us via Reddit? I don't post on Reddit. That doesn't mean the boss man doesn't. I do. I'm in charge of most of the advertising on the X-Wing forum and Facebook. Excuse me, but I guess boss man might post it in other places. Thanks to everyone who's still watching. It's almost 10 o'clock. It's kind of it's getting late here on the East Coast. But thank you for this link that I'm now going to follow.
Ooh, do I get to sit in the leather seat?
Yeah, dude.
Hey guys.
Yeah, the boss man is advertising for my show behind my back, and that's fine because he owns the store and all this equipment that we're using. But this is I'm going to give Francis the mic here. What's up, dude?
Hey guys. Been a long time. How you guys doing?
Yeah, you've been on our show before as a commentator way back, like the first day.
Yeah, no, I loved it, man. That was great. But I haven't played the game since then, and if you watch the game, you can obviously tell. My first turn, I was looking at the board backwards, so everything I wanted to go left went right, and everything that went right went left. So that's why instead of having 2 swarms going this way, I had one going this way and a big cluster going the other way, all messing into each other. So I had this.
The fan.
Yeah, like the fan wasn't exactly what I was looking for. I was kind of I was wanting to do like kind of a triangle formation here, and then one behind the other here. Just looked at it completely wrong. And then to fix it, on the second turn, I end up hitting a couple of the asteroids. Fortunately, I didn't take any damage off of them, but
you deployed right behind that rock.
Right.
Like, and did that mess you up? You're talking about you made a mistake and you you spread your formation opposite as you wanted, but we were talking like maybe that asteroid had something to do with it.
Yeah, that's a great question, my thought was this: is that if I deploy behind this rock, it's going to take me one less turn to get to him because basically it's almost more of a straight shot. Whereas if I went around, it would take an extra turn or so to actually get into the firing arc where I could be more aggressive. I built this just kind of on a whim, just for giggles, because I wanted to be somewhat aggressive, but at the same time I wanted to be easy enough where I could remember how to play the game all over again because it's been so long. Was not expecting Tien Nub and his unblockable crit, ridiculous BS.
Yeah.
Blah 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 blah. You know.
He may or may not do more damage than that. So we were talking early on. If you could get him into a joust position and clear one of those B wings before you lost it, before you lost the TIE Fighter, you might have had a chance.
Yeah, I agree. My idea was that going into it is like Tien Nub with all that stuff in the unblockable crit. He's going to be the one I have to get rid of. So I wanted everybody attacking him first. But unfortunately, the way it worked is that I was getting hit from the side from everything else. So I really had to. When it came to actually attacks on the third turn, I had to. I only had one guy who could attack him. One because of my bad flying and the position everybody was in, and so I had to start picking off like the Blue Squadron pilot and all that as well. I feel really fortunate that I was able to get that one guy off the board. Because he was doing just about as much havoc as Tien Nub was without the unblockable crit.
So you five TIE Fighters is a list we might have seen a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
I mean, and you mentioned you were trying to keep it simple, but is there something you like about TIE Fighters? I used to love to play them, like even the name TIE Fighters.
Yeah. Well, originally I was expecting Spalmer to go with Triple X, and when I was expecting he plays that a lot, and I was expecting him to go West Wedge and Luke. Which is he also plays a lot. So I was kind of really going up against it. I wanted to be a couple hull points or better than that one, or a couple attack points better than that, and be really aggressive to that. Once I didn't realize that he was going to bring in the same thing he flew to get second in the store championship this weekend. So I'm like, this is going to hurt. This is going to hurt a lot. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's okay, you know. But I fault myself for not being as knowledgeable of the game and how not necessarily how the pieces move, but all the hull upgrade, all the upgrade cards, and how all the pilot cards work with each other. It's just something that comes with time and something that comes with a lot of practice. I was either going to do this or I was going to do a decimator list where I had a fully loaded decimator at about 66 points, and I was going to do a TIE interceptor just kind of as a wingman. But I decided to go with this instead just because it seemed like it'd be a little bit more. If Spalmer went with what I thought he was going to go with, I didn't think he was going to do well against Swarm, so that's kind of what I wanted to go with.
We're doing good. We're kind of. It's a long road to regional. It's over a month away. We're gonna do games every 2 weeks.
Yep.
But you got any questions, James?
So I know you did a lot of sort of last-minute modifications
Right.
to the list.
Right.
We noticed that you had ended up with your, squad?
You had squad leader on a Black Squadron pilot, which doesn't work. And I didn't think about it when you showed it to me. I would have brought that up to you. It can only give a free action to a ship that's a lower pilot skill than him, and he was the lowest one.
So was that originally on a different?
It was
Howlrunner.
It was originally on Howlrunner. I was looking at it, and I had some help from Chud, and I said, it'd probably be a better idea if we did this with Howlrunner versus that. We totally overlooked the fact that it goes for the lower point value ship. Otherwise, I would have done something. I would have put another hull upgrader or veteran instincts or something like that to give him a higher point value instead of that. So it was 2 points that were completely wasted. So, but I mean, again, it comes with the experience of playing every week and learning the game and knowing the game, and that's something I haven't done since November.
January,
I think it was January was our event, and I think it was November or that before since I played. So it's been a while. But I love the game, and I had a good time with it. I didn't expect to win against Spalmer, and he didn't talk enough trash for me, so I'm a little upset about that.
Sounds like you need a grudge match.
I'm thinking grudge match. I think I was cheated. I think that I'm a little sore about that. I'm coming after you, Spalmer. I'll take your number 2. one of these years. No.
We might need to explain that a little.
Okay, so the Lost City Squadron, which we're all a part of here, have rankings, and my ranking and they're all like little cards, and my ranking is 20, and probably play like a 36 today.
I have 21.
Okay, so apparently my ranking is higher than his. I didn't play like that today, but if I would have beat Spalmer, he got 2 because he came in second in the tournament this past weekend. If I would have beaten him, I would have swapped ranks with him.
You want to throw down after this? I got time for a game.
Let's make it happen, man.
Yeah,
I'm all for it.
But before that, thank you for coming on the show.
Oh, absolutely. Thanks, guys.
Happy to have you on again.
I'll do it again.
I'm gonna give a talk to Spammer, and then we'll play a game after I interview him.
I'll get a list ready.
Sweet.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
Korean Jesus 23. We are in Atlanta, Georgia. I don't know. You're probably talking to the viewers there, but we're in Atlanta, Georgia. We have a regional on May 30th, so we're kind of prepping for that, testing out a lot of weird different things. Here is the spammer who brought a I don't know if this list has won a tournament, but as Francis was saying, did very well in a tournament a week or two ago against a player that hadn't played in a while. So were you taking advantage of? He's not exactly a newbie, but he might as well be right now because he hadn't played in 6 months. Were you taking advantage of him?
Maybe. No, I honestly, it's just what I had in my car. I didn't even have time to go back to the house and get the rest of my stuff.
It's a good list. I'm not gonna lie. It's a good list.
It got second place at the tournament this weekend, and I've done well with it in store championships. So.
When did you? I mean, 10 Nub and Mangler Cannon is an obviously good thing. But could you? Why do you? Calculation might give you the same or a similar result at least. Why not pick that? I'm just curious. I only ask because it's even cheaper.
Actually, it's I mean, I like Mangler Cannon on it just so that I can shoot at range 3 without them getting the bonus dice.
Right.
But I also like Veteran Instincts on them because that way I get that jump on Whisper. I get that jump on non-VI Fell. So it allows me to. It's the same reason you'd put VI on people like Wes Jansen. You want them shooting high.
Because I want him so I can take tokens away, and usually so I can put a stress on him too.
Yep. And that's also why Kraken has VI on him, so that he can shoot first if needed at absolutely anybody. He doesn't even have to hit, but it's passing that action off onto 10 Nub. Or Blue Squadron or Bandit Squadron, whoever needs it more.
Okay. While I think of something, what do you got, James?
So, from a tactical standpoint, I thought it was very interesting that you saved Howlrunner for absolutely last. When I'm looking at TIE Swarm, my first target is Howlrunner. Howlrunner goes, and then I don't worry about the rest of the TIE fighters from there because they're all kind of neutered. You went about it from the opposite side and killed all the other TIE fighters and said Howlrunner's ability doesn't help herself. Was there any sort of planning behind that, or were you just taking the best target that you had at any point?
It started out as the best targets I had with Winged Gundark with those range 3 shots. But after that, it was not just target of opportunity, but it was also how he was flying. He was not taking advantage of Howlrunner very often.
He was not, and he talked about like he had made a mistake. He put his dials down on the opposite ships, I think he said. So he intended to split around a rock, and he just kind of fanned out awkwardly.
He did, and I mean,
it's mistakes you got to make. I've done it before where I assign dials backwards, and instead of splitting around a rock, or splitting between 2 rocks, I crossed and landed on 2 rocks at the same time.
And we all remember the infamous Decimator.
I like to remind Chud about that frequently, and he's not having it.
But after that, I know Francis is still what could be considered a new player because he doesn't play often, and I'm gonna be honest, I was kind of taking it easy on him.
I was thinking that, like, even with the Howlrunner thing, you had Howlrunner at range 1 plenty of times, and you were taking the range 2 shots.
Yeah, and then blocking myself with the Bandit and Aaron Kraken with the 3Ks right there. that was kind of a conscious decision to do that.
It appeared that it was intentional, but at the time I couldn't really see a reason.
I mean, it definitely worked out the way he moved Backstabber and Hellrunner up that way, because then I could just keep them right where they needed to be and keep them blocked in with the Z's, while 10-Nub completed his K turn.
Was away for a while.
For about 2 turns.
Yeah.
But the Z's were doing their jobs at that point. I did not intend to lose Blue Squadron, but that direct hit and blinded pilot from 2 crits when he was down to hull, that hurt. Otherwise, Backstabber probably would have been splattered that turn.
We have a viewer question that's it's not for you, it's kind of general, but either of you chime in on whatever you think. What are as far as local meta, things that you see when we go to league nights and tournaments and what you see winning, what's a top list in Atlanta that might not be a good a top list you read about the forums in California or wherever, what have you?
Nothing Rich runs.
Well, there's that, but I can jump out in front and identify what it is. It's X-Wings, and you'll see a lot of it from Brendan, but you'll also see a lot of it from this gentleman right here.
X-Wings are still good. Spoiler alert.
Yes, they are. People just don't know how to fly them right. I don't know if I see a lot of Autoceptors around either.
Doesn't know how to fly X-Wings.
Yeah. I don't know if I see a lot of Autoceptors out of this area either, and we've got the king of them right here.
Yeah, I was like, nobody plays Autoceptors because they're afraid to play against this guy.
Well, the only reason I beat this man was pure luck.
It's also, we don't see a lot of turrets anymore. Turrets are still present, and they're still good. A turret just won a tournament, the tournament that you lost, right? You played against the Fat Han. But Fat Hans and Decimators are not nearly as prevalent as they were before Scum and Villainy. I don't want to say just because of Autoceptors, but like now with the Phantom nerf, with the Phantom change, I don't call that a nerf. With the Phantom, it's just turrets now have their place, but they're not as dominant in our area as they have been in the past, and might even still be in other places.
Well, and the funny part is, earlier that day, in the same tournament, I'd beat Rich's list. 100-0. So, I mean, I wiped him.
I mean,
and then,
usually if a turret loses, it's 100-0, but...
And then, yeah. I made a bunch of mistakes at that point, because it was top 2.
It's probably a long tournament. I didn't get to come out that day.
By that point, I had gone 30 hours without sleep.
Yeah? That'll do it. But
yeah, that was the fun part. But no, as I said, I was kind of taking it easy on Francis there.
Fair.
Not entirely in part because I like the guy, but because he is a fairly new player, and I was running a very dirty list to run a couple of ties against.
It could have gone his way, I feel, but he would have had to, first of all, line up all his shots, and he had to get one of those B-Wings gone in the first turn. Even if he lost a tie or two in the process. And he could have done it, but it didn't. Early game mistakes made that impossible.
He needed to get out of as many of my firing arcs as possible and just dogpile either 10-Nub or the Blue Squadron. Because even with Stealth Device, that Blue Squadron can put out a lot of damage with that HLC.
Right.
But he just was not able to get those shots lined up.
Anyway, any more? I don't see any more viewer questions. We do. You're talking about double IGs. We see a little bit of that. There are, in fact,
I hate double IGs.
It has a lot to do with the fact that we've had 9 store championships or something like that within a reasonable driving distance. But another one of our store champions won with a double IG list. But it's another thing that it is good, but it's not played a whole lot down here. I don't know. Maybe we're weird down here in the South. But thank you. Thanks for coming on the show.
No problem.
Any closing thoughts?
Not really.
What are you going to do next time you see 5 TIE fighters that are all pointing the wrong way?
Laugh. And then ask why Chad he's flying. Why he's flying wrong.
That's fair. Anyway, have a good night, dude.
All right.
I think me and Francis are going to throw down here in a second.